Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tony Speaks Morning Show. I'm Tony Teague with you here every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Give my life your picks for today's card. Today, we'll have picks for you from Major League Baseball. Well, the NFL preseason here, week one kicks off today with 3 games. Also picks from the W as well as the CFL starting their week as well. And make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that. It really helps us build up our audience. Of course, add those comments in the screen. Greatly appreciate those as well. Really helps us move up the algorithm. So let's introduce the cappers and get right to the picks as we don't mess around here on the Tony Speaks Morning Show. Let's go to Rod. Rod, what's going on?
Well, not too much, Tony. Looking forward to another NFL year. Kicks off. Hey, we got some preseason today. Looking like some exciting games. Looking forward to that. CFL Week 10. Hey, small slate in the MLB, but hey, there's a couple games that I'm looking forward to. I don't know, maybe not the first one to kick off the slate, but we got one of them dumpster fire games to get us going. But hey, I think it should be a good one. We've seen some pretty good from Lopez, so kind of looking forward to at least to spread out a little. You got a little one early to get us going, and then you got one a little bit later in the afternoon, and then a couple primetime games. So not a bad slate here for a Thursday. Definitely mixed sporting it up, though, as they say. We got some CFL, we got some NFL preseason, throw in some WNBA as well. So, hey, definitely a mix of sports today. We're getting sports back. We like it. Soon enough, we'll have 8. Yeah, we'll get that overlap. Pretty soon we'll see the 8 different sports rolling overlap.
Goodness. The overlap is real now. Here we go. It's overlap season. Let's go. Solo, what's going on, Solo?
All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy to be here. Happy Thursday. Light little card today. I think we went 500 yesterday, so looking forward to this NFL card, stack some data. I'm probably not going to jump out there too much. Like I said, we got 5 months, with games every week, so no rush for me, but some people jumping the gun. I'm not mad at them. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it indeed. All right, guys. We'll get to it here. I should come off a 2-in-1 day yesterday, hit the best bet with the Padres getting the job done, so we'll continue hopefully for that positive momentum for today. So let's get to it. We'll start with NFL because it is NFL preseason. We talked about this earlier in the week here with these line moves. Colts and Ravens. We saw this one open. Colts 2.5 now up to 6 and juice on the 6. So we may see 6.5 before not too long. Total 36.5 there. Of course, the news there with the Colts there playing their starters. Anthony Richardson start. Cincinnati and Philadelphia. This has been another move here. Line open 1. The line moves now to 6, 6.5, 5.5 out there. Total 37. News there, Bengals will play their starters because they want to avoid those slow starts, like losing New England in week 1. Right? I mean, that was pretty bad to the start to their season. Burrow will start. Of course, the quotes you see there, several series. We'll see how that works. Another situation here with the Raiders and Seahawks. This one opened Seahawks 1.5. This one now moves to Raiders 4.5, 5, total 37 here. Make note here, Raiders will play their starters there. So that's there, as you can tell there, that's moving these lines. Note Anthony Richardson will start, but the backups come in after that. It won't be Daniel Jones, I believe, is a backup, right? He's going to start week 2. So that's the issue, that's the situation there. But the Raiders, well, old Geno back in the stopping ground there, and the Raiders a lot of turnover defensively. So a lot of jobs open, believe it or not, in the Raiders defense, offensive line. We didn't expect Pete Carroll to go in there and clean house. That's what he did. He cleaned house. So there's a lot of new faces there in new places. So we'll see how that goes. And that's why we're seeing these line moves because with a lot of turnover, Pete Carroll, the rah-rah man, probably will try it. So we'll see how that rolls out. We'll start here with Rod.
Yeah, that's you first looking at this Colts and Baltimore line. Man, that thing's flipped. So Colts starters not going to play the whole game. Even if they play the whole first quarter, you still have 3 quarters to go with backups and questionable guys trying to fight for a job. So I see the line move, but I'll take Baltimore plus the 6. It's just that's way too many points in any preseason game. I don't think Baltimore is just going to roll over and fall over. We know Baltimore over the last few years, they had a nice little run of preseason games. You look at what they did last year, I think it was 1-3 ATS-wise. Wasn't their greatest preseason. But at 6, the way this thing is, I'll grab the I like Baltimore plus the 6. Preseason football, I don't go all in. I'm not betting a full unit on these games. Basically, I put a little bit of pizza money, enjoy some entertainment, watching some of these games. Don't go crazy. Bet smaller amounts on your bankroll than what you normally would on games like this. And then same thing with the Bengals game. I'm going to have to take the dog on the other side of that with the Eagles going. Same thing. Is Burrow going to play the whole game? No. Sure. He wants to get off to a good start, but congratulations. You don't want to get hurt and have guys injured in the first preseason game of the year. You guys have dealt with injuries over the last couple seasons as a Bengals team. So coming out shot out of a cannon in a preseason game 1, I don't see it. This sounds like a little bit of hype. I know you want to start off, but I think week 1 of the NFL, you want to have everybody rolling and get a good start. But it does start at maybe 1 possession, maybe 2 possessions, and then you get your backups in there as well. So I'll take the Eagles plus the points there in that one as well. 2 dogs for me to kickstart the preseason week 1.
2 dogs there from Ryder Scale preseason on over to Solo.
Yeah, Rod touched the first 2 games, so I'll touch the last game. We're going to look at the Raiders and the Seahawks. And I'll be honest, if this wasn't preseason, I would be loading up on this game. This Raiders team has had a lot of turmoil. They're kissing in the locker room. They're pointing the finger. This thing's kind of blowing up. The best players kind of snitching on everybody. I think this is the best way for the Raiders to come out here, get a win, kind of put some of that behind them, start building momentum, looking forward, going into the season. I think the Raiders come out here and roll. I'm going to lay it with Las Vegas.
There you go from Solo. Tell you what I think about these games. I'm going to take an under here in the Colts and Ravens. Only again, I have no premiums in this card today. Colts are expected to play their starters, but they have conducted joint practices, and that's the angle here. Usually, when you conduct joint practices, you start to get familiar with your opponent, and you take a look at the behind Lamar Jackson. We're going to see pretty much Cooper Rush and Devin Leary here, quarterbacking today for Baltimore. Jackson not playing. I think their quarterback rotation is weaker than it's been in several years. Remember, Baltimore had that stretch where they kept winning. There was Tyrod Huntley. Huntley was a backup. I can remember they had some pretty good backups. That's why they were piling up wins in the preseason. Not this, and also now they really went through a lot of injuries for the past several years. This Ravens team, so I don't think they're going to be full force here in this preseason. Behind Daniel Jones, as I said, will not play. He will not back up Richardson. He's going to start week 2. So you're going to see Riley Leonard and Jason Bean behind Anthony Richardson. So I'll go under here. Baltimore, as we talked about, been hit hard with injuries over the past years. Again, these teams have gone through some intense joint practices. Would expect a lower scoring game here. And if you look at all the preseason games last year, it was 31-18 to the under in the preseason. I wish we'd have an endpoint to see what it was when the teams conducted joint practices, because I just think that's an angle there. When they go to the joint practices, I like to go under in these preseason games.
Tony, have you ever seen all the lines be the same as far as the total? I've never seen that. All the totals are 36.5.
Yeah, no, I've not seen it that at all. It's usually that's pretty on the high side. You know what I mean? It's because I think we've seen a tendency of these backups to throw the ball more, especially in week 1. I've seen 35, 34s. But I think it's now is that the game plan now is to throw the football, and some of these backups trying to get a bag, right? You make a lot of money as a backup in the NFL. The practice squad doesn't pay very much.
Want to know what they got. Like you said, we don't want to limit them in preseason. The quarterback go down. Now we got to play 3 weeks with him. We saw him throw 3-4 passes in the whole preseason versus second, third stringers. It's not going to work. It's going to get you fired. Yeah. So if you're, my handicap in the preseason, I don't like to bet the games where there's starters playing. I like to bet the games when there's no starters playing, because to me, I can go back and scour through the depth charts and get a better read of the game than I can in situations like this where you have starters playing on one side, not playing on the other side. To me, it's very hard to scope that. I'd rather scope when I've got no starters playing. I can go through the quarterback rotations, go through the running backs and receivers, and get a better idea that way. So that's really how I attack preseason. But I don't like to touch these games when you've got one side playing, the other side's not. And of course, you don't know how long they're going to. Coach says they're going to get several series. What does that mean, right? They could, like you said, there could be one hit, and all of a sudden, our starters come off the field, right? You just never know with these situations. But
we've seen the scuffle up already between the Colts and Baltimore in that preseason already. They don't like each other, so they've been joint practices. But I know I seen a video yesterday of a scuffle up where they were pushing and shoving, and they definitely
are the Colts trying to trade Richardson? I mean, we're talking about with the top 5 pick last year, and you start him in the preseason game. Well,
they're starting him in the preseason game because there's Daniel Jones as his backup, so he's starter 1, but it's subject to change. That's really what it is. It's subject to change. And if Daniel Jones performs better, they'll play Daniel Jones. That's the whole idea of it. That's where Richardson's starting here. And
to me, the starters are going to play more in week 2. So if Jones is starting week 2, then we're going to protect Jones more than Richardson. Feel like they're kind of throwing him to the wolves.
I think so, putting a starter like that. But Richardson has experience with the organization. Jones doesn't. So maybe that's why they made him. Oh, also, too, hey, you're QB1, go out there first. We're going to send the starters with you. You're right. You're probably better prepared in week 2 than week. And it seems to me week 3 is just going to be throw out the rookies and see what we got. Let's fill up the roster. That's kind of the way it looks. Everyone, since we went to this, since we went to this 3-week preseason and then the bye week, it seems to me that a lot of these coaches are changing when they do the dress rehearsal. Remember when we had 4 preseason games, the dress rehearsal was always the 3rd week, always
3. Now it's 2. I got you.
Now it's 2. Now it's sometimes I've seen 3. If you look at KC, they play starters every week. I mean, they have 4 quarterbacks. Every quarterback plays a quarter. I kind of like the way KC does it, where the starter plays first quarter, backup plays quarter 2, 3rd string 3, 4th string 4th. I like the way he does it. But no one has the cojones to do that. He can, only the head coach for the KC can do that because of his track record. that's about the way it looks to me. But it's pretty interesting here with the preseason with week 3. Man, hey, it may go to 2 weeks, so they want to extend the regular season another game, right? They want to have that the international game for everybody. So that's how it is. Some folks already chime in. They think that Jones has a contract.
What is JM talking about? JM say Jones has a contract. Richardson doesn't have a contract. He's 3rd pick in the draft. What the hell are you talking about? He has a higher contract.
Yeah, well, I guess they must have given him a bigger bag to be this backup. So, he probably made a lot of money to be a backup. So that's what they're probably talking about. Jones is still on a rookie deal. And that this may be his 3rd year, right? I don't know how rookie deals work. I don't know if after the 3rd year you become a free agent. So maybe the 4th year. I don't know how long they've got him signed for, but he's still on his rookie contract.
And I don't remember Jones' deal. Maybe he got a massive deal. I remember he signed like a 4-year deal. I don't remember the money, so maybe it is massive. I got you.
$14 million. He signed a 1-year contract with the Colts worth $14 million.
Wow, for a backup.
$13.15 million guaranteed with a max value of $17.7 million with some incentives in there for.
There's your starter.
Yeah, right.
Rich is sitting with a history of injuries. Of course, they probably make him number 1 just not to make the general manager look too bad for taking him number 1. Remember, the GM's still there. And also, to take note is that the owner did pass away, right? The owner passed away for the Colts as well.
Per se,
yeah. So that's something also to think about there.
Richardson makes he's currently on a 4-year deal worth $33.99 million. So
2 more years
what does that
left.
work out to be? This contract also features an option to extend for a 5th year in 2027. So he's under contract. Richard's under a contract already.
So they got $20 million in quarterback. I got you.
Yeah.
They're deep there.
It's not a big hit though. It's not a big hit to the salary cap. That's not a lot. That's not bad for quarterbacks. It's not a big hit because you still remember whenever you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, it allows you to spend somewhere else. But with the Colts situation, they got to spend on a backup because the starter's not getting it done. That's how that looks there. So all right, we got you through the preseason. Proceed with caution. The coach speaks always not always true. So just we'll figure out how it rolls. And of course, we got 3 more games tomorrow. It looks like Shedeur Sanders is getting the start tomorrow for Cleveland as take on the Panthers, Lions at Falcons, Commanders, Patriots. We'll look at those tomorrow. All right, now it's time to move on over to baseball. 4-game schedule today for Major League Baseball. No changes I can see here. Nope, doesn't look like. Looks like they are going to go with Carlos Carrasco for Atlanta in this lost season today as they face Miami. So let's get to it. Major League Baseball on tap for today will be Athletics and Nationals. We have Athletics $1.38 moving up here, total 9. We go to White Sox and Mariners. We got the Mariners $2.70, total 7.5. Reds and Pirates. It's the Pirates $1.66, total 7. And then we close it out with Marlins and Braves. Marlins favored. Well, Yuri Perez Day here. Marlins $1.20, total 8.5. We start with Rod.
Yeah, looking at these games. First one to kick us off on the day, Athletics taking on Washington. I know we've seen a 2-1 game last night, but I think we see a lot higher scoring game than that with Parker on the bump. I think he gives up some. Lopez, hey, he's been dealing. Well, we've seen Lopez at times this year. He's given up a few as well at times. So this total's at 9. I like the over between the Athletics and Washington. And then I'll take the Marlins. Carrasco going on the bump for Atlanta. I don't know. I'm not going to look that price in the mouth and be like, hey, look at this price. It just seems it's a little low, I think, on Miami. But you figure that would be up to about minus 130, maybe minus 140. But I'm not going to look at gift horse. I'll take Miami there. Marlins playing the better ball. Not even close there in that one. Grasco, maybe it was the second start back, so maybe you see a little improvement from him in that one. Totals at 8, so I would lean to an over, but I'm taking the Marlins there in that one.
Here we go here from Ron. We move on to Rosillo.
White Sox and Mariners. Sox rolling with Shane Smith is one of my guys, especially we're going to attack that money early in the first 5. He's been productive, especially early in the season. I want to say the last 2 starts, he's got that money for us. Logan Gilbert's solid pitcher long term. He's the real deal, but minus 294, not really our style. We're going to attack that money early. White Sox first 5. And the Reds and the Pirates, we got Singer and Skeens. Skeens have been solid, but Singer on the road, I'm not a big fan. These bats have kind of cooled off, but I think they might pick up today. I'm going to take this total over 7.
Yeah, from Solo, tell you what I think about these games here. Yeah, I'll come back here on the Athletics here in this one. We've seen Washington's terrible in these home day games, 7-22, losing 14 units. Athletics have been hitting lefties pretty well, 279 against left-handed starters. Lopez over his past 10 starts, ERA of 2.70. Look at Parker's past 4 starts, ERA 8.5. Lex Wilpon in pretty good shape. Nationals pen is not. I'll look at the Athletics in that one. I'll take the plus 1.5 with the White Sox. White Sox have been hitting since the break. Seattle past 6 games was 218. White Sox pen has been pretty sharp here. ERA of 3.5 over the past 24 games. And they're 23-13 to the run line on the road, facing facing a team with an on-base percentage of 330 or lower. That's a plus 8 unit return. I'll take the plus 1.5 with the White Sox there. And I'll take Yuri Perez and these Miami Marlins. The Braves now have lost 12 of 16 at home, losing over 12 units, 12.5 units lost there. Wow. The Braves not getting it done here. Miami does hit the ball pretty well on the road, 260. And you look at Atlanta over their past 23 games, hitting 237, and their bullpen ERA is approaching 6. So I can only look there at the Marlins in that one. Yuri Perez showing to be the real deal. After a shaky beginning, coming back from Tommy John, Yuri Perez is showing who he is there. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Fickmore Show. We'll turn our attention over to the W. So let's get to it here from the WNBA. 3 games on the board here for the 7th of August. We got Dream and Sky. The Dream here, 10.5, total 160.5. Fever and Mercury. We got the Mercury 4, total 172. Sun at the Sparks. Look at the Sparks here, laying 9.5 now in some places, total 174. We saw with Rod.
Yeah, for me in these games, I'll lay with the Sparks there. Lay the 9. They're turning it up and starting to play the better ball. 9 is not enough to entice me into trying to back the Sun there in that one. You see what they did in their last one. They lost by 16. The Sparks squad 8-2 in the last 10 games, definitely playing the better hoops. I think they win by double digits. So I'll lay with the Sparks there in that one. And then give me the under in Atlanta in the Chicago game. Hey, this thing opened a lot lower than that, up to 161.5. I guess they're expecting a track meet in that one. Well, I don't think that. I expect a lower scoring game, slower pace game, and we get under, kind of almost like a first to 70 type game, which sneaks us under the total of 161.5. Give me the under Atlanta and Chicago. And then the Fever and the Mercury, I would lean to the Fever plus the 3.5 there. They lost last game out on the road. Another game on the road. I think they are able to slow up this Mercury squad here defensively and keep it a lot closer than one possession if the Fever don't outright them. But I'll grab the 3.5 there with the Fever.
And then we go from Rod on over to Solo.
We'll stay on that game, the Fever and the Mercury. Like I say, the Fever lost the last game at the Sparks. The long little road trip they on right here. I think they'll bounce back and be ready to play. Phoenix is getting healthy. I think Satu's going to play in this one. I think the Fever, like you say, that pace got out of control. The Sparks kind of jumped out fast. I think this pace is going to slow down. I see this total's a little high, but I think these teams jump out fast and play a little defense toward the second half. I'm going to take this total under 173.
There from Solo. All right, let's continue. We got a contrarian here in the chat says take the Braves and everyone's on the Marlins. Well, I would, if it was August, if it was April, May, June, July, maybe. But in August, September, sometimes the obvious gets it done. The obvious, especially with, at least the Marlins think they're alive, and the Atlanta Braves know they're dead. We're not in September.
Put my money on Cookie.
There you go. All right, let's continue on. Tony Fickmore Show. It's time for the CFL segment with Rod. We got single games today, tomorrow, and then we get a doubleheader on the 9th. Today it's BC Lions and Hamilton. The T-Cats, Tiger Cats here, 3, total 55.
Yeah, you look at this game here. We've seen Hamilton BC had themselves a nice lead earlier in that game, head-to-head between these two in the season back in BC. And then we seen Hamilton late with less than 3 minutes left, kept roaring back, scored a bunch of points, and got the win in that one head-to-head. I believe it was 37-33 in that matchup. Yep, and Hamilton got the win. So you look what Hamilton's been doing. Hey, they won 6 straight ball games and scoring an average of well into the 30s in those games. BC Lions defensively still giving up plenty defensively, giving up about 30 a game. Well, offensively, they need to pick it up. So these two teams, head-to-head, you look, we've seen a lot of offensive scoring head-to-head, 37-33, 32-29. So games 44-28, 33-30. So all these games, the last 4 head-to-head over the last couple seasons have all hit into the 60s. They got this total at 55.5 here in this one. But I think this is the first game back home off of that road trip. I like an under. I think this BC Lions defense steps up a little bit in at 55.5. I just don't think we see that much offense in this game. I think we sneak under the total of 55.5 here in this one. It has been bet down. I think it's 3 in most places. So some money's come in on the Lions to keep it close as well, because it was a 4-point game in that one. But I think it's a lower scoring defensive battle. First game back home for Hamilton after 4 of the last 5 weeks have been out on the road. So you go from one side of the country back to the other. For BC's on one coast, Hamilton's way almost on the other. So I think after those travel delays, I think it's a slower pace game, and we sneak under the 55.5.
There you go here from Ron and CFL. First, I mentioned Seattle's quarterback rotation. Of course, Darnold not playing. It'll be there is a backup battle between Jalen Monroe and Drew Lock, by the way. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe they're going to go with 3 quarterbacks. You never know with these teams. So that's something to look at there with Seattle. There is a quarterback battle. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Sports Show. Now it's time for our Parlay Peripheral segment where Cappers giving a parlay, team player prop, game of the future. They make the call here. We start with Rob.
No player prop, no parlays for today. Not enough on slate to be able to grasp and put things together to parlay anything today. So here's a prop for you. In that Bengals game, the Bengals score first. Joe Burrow wants to get out to a good start, as he says. That means they score first in that game. I think he has the offense ticking along. Everybody's healthy. I think they roll down that first drive right down the field and pop one in the end zone for a touchdown. I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals to score first, like I did in the Chargers game. Chargers rolled down, scored first, got us the win. I think the Bengals do the same thing with the Cincinnati Bengals to score first.
Let's go first there from Rod on over to Solo.
Yeah, I'm not the parlay guy, but hey, my bet, one of the better bets on the board. I can't give you my premiums, but the one I'm also going to bet is the Marlins money line. But quick question for Rod. Rod, you a big Clemson fan?
Yes, this is who I'm. This is my pick to win the national championship this year. Is Clemson?
Yeah, the wide receiver for Clemson name is Bryant Wesco Jr. I went to Louisiana Tech with his father, the most athletic person I've ever seen in my life. 3-time All-American. I think he owns like 24 Louisiana Tech track and field records, long jump, triple jump, high jump. I mean, awesome athlete. And I saw his son I saw some of his highlights when watching him. I didn't realize how athletic he was. He looks just like him. I think Wesco's going to have a huge year.
Huge year. Because I like Klubnik. So you throw that in the mix, he's got someone to throw the ball to, man. I like that offense. And then the Clemson defense, it just gets better and better. Those guys have gelled together. They're returning, 9 guys on that defensive side of things that have stuck around with Clemson. And that's the big thing I like. I find a college football team that they've stuck together through those years.
I agree.
You don't see it as much as what we have since they've introduced that transfer portal.
Well, he doesn't use the transfer portal, right? That was a big knock on him. And the head coach
doesn't like it.
He doesn't use it. He goes, he's kind of like, he takes the same approach that the Michigan State college basketball coach says. I bring them in. They're loyal to me. I'm loyal to them. They're loyal to me. That's kind of the way he plays it.
And I've noticed he gets them to buy in early. Buying in early means like he don't do transfer portal, but most of his players graduate in December and they start school in January. So like Wesco, this is about to be a sophomore year, but he's already been on campus for a year and a half.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's been in that offense that whole time. That's why he's able to start as a true freshman. So he got all that extra time in with Plesnik. I think they're going to have a big year on offense.
We got the chemistry going, and they built up the trust. And, of course, those quarterbacks, they like seeing their guys in there early, right? That's the way it rolls there. So, yeah.
And I think that's how Dabo doesn't, like you say, he doesn't use the transfer portal, but he doesn't lose as many because his freshmen play.
Yeah.
Yes. He gives them playing time to come out there, and which gives them they want to come play for you. Most freshmen on any other team, you're riding the bench. You'd be lucky if you get any. You'll get that meaningless time. Here you go at there. The game's over. It's 54-2. Here you go. Here you can have a couple minutes.
You put the work in, you put into recruiting, not into salesmanship, right?
Yeah.
You're just trying to pull. Also, too, when you're poaching guys from other teams, maybe it's a reason why they're maybe it's underlying things why they're transferring, right? You just never know the whole situation. You got one side, don't know what's going on internally, right? So that's.
You're hoping that you're also when you're trying to you throw some guys together, you're taking a guy from here, guy from here. You're hoping that camaraderie comes together. Sometimes we've seen it where that doesn't come together.
Anybody
certain guys butt heads, and you don't know that until you've started camp, and now you're ready to go, and you have all these guys here and there really butting heads with each other. So.
Anybody with a great deal of work experience can understand what it's like having high turnover in any type of work environment. What that's like, right? We've all been that route. We all know what that's like.
You don't notice you get in that leadership position, and you say, "Wow, everybody's gone quick."
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough on everybody, from the employees to the coach to the managers. Except the upper management, you guys should have a handle on everything. That's the only difference there. All right, my play go under with the Ravens game there. What do we got here, boy? I'm already thinking about tomorrow's games. We got under Colts and Ravens, and I'll take that +1.5 with the White Sox. All right, now we got you through our Parlay peripheral segment. Now it's time to see what our cappers have for sale over at Tony'sPicks.com. Heading to a big week of action with NFL preseason coming in. We'll get the big cards from Major League Baseball starting again tomorrow. And, of course, the W as well. Guys, as I said, we just showed you we gave you our free plays, but our best bets and premiums over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can see leaderboards with full documentation on all of our records. Let's see what Rod has for sale over at Tony'sPicks.com. Positive year for Rod. What you got for sale, Rod?
The three over Tony's Picks today. I have a 3-pack rolling today. So I've got in that 3-pack includes 1 MLB, 1 preseason NFL, and 1 CFL. My CFL you can get singly as well. It's my game of the day there. We went 4-0 last week in the CFL on a nice 19-10 run in the CFL. Been treating us well, so definitely scoop that up. There. No premium in the WNBA for me today. Got my place there. I'll probably have a couple more for you in the happy hour show. So 2 in there. No premium for the WNBA for me today because it was close to a couple that I was like, but just couldn't get there. But definitely it being Wednesday or Thursday. So that's the best day to grab that 3-day moneymaker. Join me for the 3 days. You'll get Thursday's games, you'll get Friday's games, Saturday's games, and I throw Sunday in early enough that you'll get those as well. So that 3-day moneymaker turns into basically a 4-day pass. So don't miss out on that. Big weekend loading ahead. Lots of MLB, lots of CFL, lots of preseason NFL, and definitely some more WNBA as well. So definitely jump aboard. Take advantage of that 2-for-1 cabin promotional as well. Can't go wrong with that here at Tony's Picks. But jump aboard. Let's make some money together.
That's right. Get on board the ride over at Tony's Picks. Use the promo code Tony's Get checkout and save 15% off. All right, let's see what's rolling over at Tony's Picks right now. See what Solo's got for sale right now. Solo's been red hot in the W. What you got, Solo?
Yeah, definitely in them WNBA streets tonight. I think we got a 2 games WNBA, and I got a best bet in WNBA and as well as MLB. Kind of light. We'll be back in the MLB streets tomorrow. Pick and choose our spots, like I told you earlier in the week. The lines after the All-Star break and the living over the dead. Baseball's getting a little tricky, so we're gonna try to zero in and pick those spots. But WNBA picking up, so sign up with me short-term, long-term. Depending what your favorite capper, the hottest capper. Remember, let's get to the bank. Don't parlay.
That's right. Get on board with Solo over at Tony'sPicks.com. You see best bets up there from Solo right now. Remember, all of our one-day passes are profit guaranteed. They must turn a profit amount purchased is credit back to your account for site credits. That's profit guarantee. Get on board with Solo over at Tony's Picks. You can also consider long-term subscriptions. Also available. Talked about the 3-day pass heading the weekend. There's also a 7-day pass and longer. So get on board with Solo over at Tony's Picks and get signed up. All right, guys. over at Tony's Picks today. I've got just a single today. Got a best bet for Major League Baseball. Having a great year. Come off another winning day yesterday in Major League Baseball. So get on board with me. And of course, you get matched up with your favorite capper with the 2-for-1 capper promotion. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, guys, with you here on the Tony's Morning Show every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. It really helps us build up our audience. And if you happen to miss any of our shows, just head on over to our YouTube channel there. You'll be able to find a lot of great content here as well as our live shows. Just type Tony's Picks in the search console there on the YouTube, and then you'll find our live tab. Hit the live tab. This way you'll be able to see a replay of our live shows, our morning show, and of course, our happy hour show up there. Rod hosts happy hour at 5 p.m. each time, Monday through Friday. You can see he draws in a really good panel there of guests, so we want to check that out. We also have a members feature that I stream live. If you want early access to my videos, you can become a channel member, get early access to my videos, as well as a way to support us here for the work we put into the channel. Hit the video tab, and there you're going to find on-demand videos there. Chris with his home run props. We got Rod with the CFL week report, having a great year in CFL. Ron Crawford with spreadsheet play of the day, as well as his KBO. You want to check the KBO drops around 8 p.m. Eastern time because these games go on overnight. So Ron will have your action from the KBO. Occasionally some Japanese league play, but they're there. Get your KBO fix there from Ron Crawford there overnight. 2-3 zone has been very popular feature at Tony'sPicks.com. Lots of great content there. We see Ramon, Ron, and Justin on the 2-3 zone for today. Of course, my deep dives from NFL preseason as well as MLB. Choose to see them individually, or you can just hit the compilation videos. A lot of stats, a lot of pitching stats, a lot of trends and stuff to support the picks. Check it out there on my YouTube, on the YouTube for my content I produce there as well. Hit the shorts tab, more content there as well. El Ninos giving you that -1 up there, as well as Brian delivering content as well here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, guys. So make sure you check it out. Lots of great content, as well as our live show there on the YouTube. We'll have the guys talk a little bit more about what's going on the YouTube. Of course, Rod, you got CFL series and more with that happy hour up on the YouTube.
Yeah, definitely tune in 5 p.m. Eastern. We got the happy hour show rolling. Supposed to be on the lookout. MLB, we know what's going on. We're seeing a lot more TBDs, a lot more pitching changes early on. That looks like this guy's going, then all of a sudden they swap him up for another guy. So want to tune in the happy hour. We'll get you all the latest info there. And definitely, yeah, CFL last week on that video, we went 7-0 on the plays that gave you out in there. So definitely check out the CFL. One of those small niche sports that I cap up here in Canada. I've been doing it since the Warren Moon days. So at least 30 plus years I've been watching and tuning into the CFL. I love the sport. It's fun. It's tougher. You look NFL 4 downs, CFL 3 downs to try to get that first down. So basically, you see some 2 and outs. There's a few little rule changes. Some of those CFL rules that you see in the end, or some of the new NFL rules that have been implemented have come from the CFL.
Field looks huge.
It is. It's the end zones are 20 yards deep. So and then it's a wider field as well. They got another 15 yards on the playing field as well. You got a 55 in the middle of the field. So
Out of space.
Well, there's one rule. There's one rule in the CFL that NFL should implement, and they should have implemented a long time ago. You know what that is, Rod?
Which one's that, Tony?
Where you can challenge pass interference.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly. They put that in a couple years ago in the CFL. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to check it out, but yes, they should introduce that rule.
No, the NFL figured out how to screw it up. make it 5 minute. Make it a 5 minute review.
that kicking of the extra
points. So
yeah, that kicking of the extra point that used to be automatic up close. In the CFL, they moved that back, make it a little bit tougher for the kicker, right? So that's what the NFL did. They're like, oh, look at that. They're doing that. Okay, we'll do that too. So there's a few rules that they've implemented from the CFL into the NFL. So, and as Tony says, yes, they should be able to challenge pass interference. Yeah,
there you go. Get your soccer picks and more tennis and more on the happy hour when Ron and Ramon join Rod on that happy hour. I mean, Rod, you should see Rod's expression when you get some of those picks, especially with Guadalajara and who we had the other day, Guadalajara and Cincinnati, and then Cruz Azul. Rod was like, "What the hell?"
They digging now. They digging.
Yeah, I had no idea what he was talking about.
League, Mexican League versus. I guess there's this tournament with Mexican League and MLS.
And MLS, yeah, they do it every year. It's this little tournament thing, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know they did
Ron's
this.
expression on his face is funny. Okay. Hey, but I give Ramon credit. He has been following Mexicans. He lived on the border. He lived in a border city, so he's been following it. So that's why he's able. He knows his stuff there, and that's all he does is watch TV and watch games 24/7. When he's not sleeping, he's got his TVs on. So that's how we go. That's how he rolls. All right, guys. Marcelo got you on the mornings, and we see occasionally the happy hour and more up there with 2-3 zone and other content you're planning on.
Yeah, we got some new content coming up toward a little closer to the NFL and college football season. But definitely more of a morning guy. I haven't made the 2-3 zone or the happy hour lately, so I got to make a clip note of that and tap in with them. But you guys already know, man. Let's be smart. Let's be safe. Don't parlay. And you don't have to load up on these preseason games, guys. We got plenty of time.
Lots of games left.
And I always remind these people when football season starts in September. We have a lot of data in baseball, so don't take your eye off baseball. You got more data in baseball than you have in these preseason games, also. So
you don't want to be down before the season starts. Come on now.
Yeah. Just take some discipline here, guys. I mean, you're using an edge, I get it, but just be careful. Be careful with this coach break, especially when the Cincinnati coach said our starters are going to go several series, right? Let's see what that means. Right?
We've heard coaches say that before, and they go one series, go down hey, look at that. They went down the field, they drove down, they scored a touchdown. That's all we needed to see. That was we scaled her back. They looked so good in that first series.
And let me tell you, the opposing defense might be backus, but they get more fired up when they're going up against the number ones. Trust me on that. They like nothing better than getting hit on Joe Burrows. If you're a backup or even a scrub, looking to get a shot at Joe Burrows, trust me, that's massive for their career. That could be, right?
So they're like, all right, leave him out there for a couple series. We'll tee up on him. We have no problem.
And the defensive coaches are using that to get them even more fired up.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's exactly what's going to happen there. All right, guys. Anybody have anything to say in closing before we close it out?
Make note, it hasn't been pretty for the Colts defense in those scrimmages head to head. Baltimore's had their way with them offensively. Wide open. We've seen some highlight reel catches from some Baltimore receivers. Lamar looks fast. He's ready to go this season, running wise. And in those scrimmages, the Colts defense has had really no answers for this Baltimore offense. That Baltimore offense is tick in like week 3. So don't be laying 6 points, man.
Careful there. You got to remember the defense. Indy is a big question mark there. See how
big question marks, huge. And in scrimmages, they've been losing. Baltimore's been running them over.
And so. Baltimore always has good depth. Even their backups can play up to number 1 quality. That's the thing, because that's a lot of times when they had those cluster injuries, they bring in their backup. A lot of times they wouldn't lose a step, except the secondary. Their pass defense got crushed, but their interior line has been plays pretty good for them. So a backup offensive defensive lineman, backup defensive outside rusher, not bad. To be making NFL roster, you're pretty good. I look at it.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, not touching it at all. All right, guys, been waiting. Goodbye. Make it a winning one. We're back tomorrow on the Tony's Morning Show.